Welcome back to Shadow Z. So I did get a lot of comments asking for what's the best commercial food and why they have to go for Drools and for Royal Canin. So what I thought is give you a brief introduction to my product lineup and what I use for my dogs. So let's get started with the top right, and then I would go on with the smaller products. So I've assembled everything here, and I hope this helps out. And one other thing, I do not have time to edit my videos, and this is mostly to give you a clear perspective of when you go out, what you need to get for your pets, and what fits your budget. So let's start with the one on my right, and that's the pedigree dog food. That's the puppy food, which is chicken and milk. Now, I do know that I do not suggest pedigree, and why I get this is to discipline the dog when I take it out for walks. So what I do is I take about like 10 to 20 kibbles out of it, put it in my pocket, and when I walk the dog in and out of the house, I just feed them one, tell them to stay, not to overreact. This is try to control their whole hormone and their whole behavior outside. When I take them into parks, to make sure that they do not eat anything there, do not gobble sand. So whenever I have one of these in my hand, they just come running back at me. Then what I have here is beside it is the Drools Focus. That's the premium formula for the adult dog, and that's about okay. Before I forget, the pedigree dog food, I wouldn't suggest it as a daily driver, for your dogs. I would suggest it more as a kibble which you feed it while it exercises and learns few tricks. Then, okay, moving on to Drools. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a premium formula for adult dogs, and I have the kibbles right here with me. So here are the kibbles. So these are quite large. Let me show you the single one to you. So yeah, these are quite large, and they're hard and crunchy, and they're made up of chicken, and yeah, they are pretty good. They do stink a bit, but it shouldn't matter. Most of the dogs love this, and this is for my Spitz. I give it to my Spitz, and he just loves it. So moving on to the price bracket in which this falls, this costs about 4,500 rupees, and I get them from Snapdeal and Amazon, based on whichever sells it for cheap, and they come in a fantastic package. And the products which are manufactured prior to April have additional 15% off for maybe about 3,200 rupees. You're getting 17.5 kilos of kibbles, and that's amazing value for money. Now, flanked to my extreme left in the huge pouch would be the Focus puppy food, and this is what I feed Shadow. And the one in between, the adult dog food, which I spoke previously, is one that I feed Scooby with. Now, Shadow is a lab, and his requirements are slightly higher compared to Scooby there. So we got the Focus puppy food, and this one comes at around 4,950 retail price, and you can get it for around 3,200 as well. And this one too, I get it from Snapdeal or Amazon, based on which retailer has it for cheap. And the size of the kibbles for this one is quite small, and the texture is quite sticky. Most of them don't prefer this because during teething they tend, they want something hard to chew so that the dogs get exhausted. But this one is quite easy. It's most of the dogs swallowed, and Shadow did too, and it's easily digestible. That's one advantage of smaller size kibbles. Let me show you the size of the kibble. So it's small, it's rectangular, and it's a bit sticky, so don't worry when you initially open the package and you sense a bit of moisture and a disgusting pungent smell. That shouldn't ward your dogs away. They will like it. No one builds a liking to these kibbles because they're mostly protein and a bit of fat. So it takes some time. the dogs might ward off away from the food, then they would develop a liking for it over time. So that's the main ingredient, or the main lot of the commercial food. Now moving on to treats, I would start from my left and go to the right. Now starting with treats, first off, I have chew sticks here. So chew sticks is the one which I feed my dogs to in the evening. Now why I give chew sticks is because cart wasn't initially available, so I had to stick with chew sticks. Now chew sticks retails for about 225 rupees, and you can get it online for about, say, 190 to 200 rupees on Amazon, and that's a fantastic deal, guys. So I stuck with chew sticks. But chew sticks, the dogs love it. It has a very hard texture, and let me actually show you one. Here I go, clean them up, and voila, here it is. So this is chew sticks, and yeah, straightforward, bone shaped, just has small chunks of meat inside. So I think this gets the taste buds going, and I did not see anything, there's no loss of appetite for my dogs. So I stuck with this. This is my third box actually, and my dog seems to love it a lot. Now the other one I have, moving to the right, is cart. Now I haven't opened this box. I'm waiting for... Okay, let's get this in the focus. Okay, so I suggested this to a lot of German Shepherd German Shepherd owners, and yeah, this is the perfect biscuit, and it's just fantastic. Now, going into the nutrition perspective and whole manufacturing way, this has been the age-old tradition at my house. We feed cart to every other dog because we have had German Shepherds since my dad was 21. So we have had 4 German Shepherds. One was Ruby, another was Hero, another Pillar, and last one was Tony, and then followed by Charlie. So we have had 5 German Shepherds, and 2 of them, 2 of the pups even flew to London. So, I mean, the diet, like I mentioned in one of my comments, is the same diet I follow, and cart has been an important driver. I mean, the dogs just love it. We actually have them kept over the curtain boxes so that it's not reachable, because they always try to reach, and the GSDs totally dig this biscuit. So that's cart, and it retails for about 155 rupees, and this is a bit hard to find. You need to go to a dedicated pet store to find that, and you get about 10% discount on this and nothing more. Now moving on, and let me tilt my camera a bit, and yeah. So let me get these treats away, and the last treat I have here is for the puppies and during teething. So these are chew bones, which you can actually get. They're made up of rawhide, and let me get that into the picture. Yeah. So any chew bone would do. Make sure they're of latest manufacturing date. And why would we need to give chew bones? Well, that is mainly because you don't want your dog to tear anything and everything apart which is at home. So that's actually an alternative. Instead of chewing your bed sheets and your pillows and grabbing your socks, you can actually give one to them. In case of adult dogs, the larger breed ones, I would suggest you to go with the 8-inch version of the same. These are the 4-inch minis. My dog breaks them apart in 2 seconds. I had like 5 packets of these bought from Amazon, so a few of them are lying around. So I give him one or two when I'm off to work, so that when I come back, I know that he's not eating anything around. So that's for Shadow. He's a 5-month puppy now. And one thing about these chew bones is that if the dog tends to open the rawhide, so it tends to get a bit messy. If you have a dark shaded coat, then it sticks on as globules onto the whole fur, and it's difficult to get it out. In case of GSDs and labs, it's quite easy because the fur coat in India at least is kind of low for GSDs, and for labs it's quite easy.